Local and live. Covering Franklin and Washington counties, it's Let's Talk TriState.
Dan DeDona here, once again with the localnews1.org weekly report for Hagerstown, Chambersburg, Smithsburg, Fairfield, Waynesboro, and all the communities that make up our local area. As we usually do, I'm going to start off with the 5 things to do this weekend, 13th of February edition, Friday the 13th. It's been quite a day already. We'll start off with an event that's going to be taking place this year at Grace Gardens at 51 Plaster Avenue in Chambersburg, where there will be a romantic dinner in the greenhouse on Friday, February 13th. That'll be tonight from 6:30 until 8:30 p.m. It'll feature music by Josh Rayner, cozy fire in the garden lounge, gourmet meal included by the chef from the Hidden Key. Whole menu is included in the article. By all means, take a look at it. Tickets are available online. You can go to the story and local news and find that. Excuse me. Next up, there will be a Winter Youth Paint Night, a Valentine's themed art event hosted by the Washington County Parks and Recreation Department. Young artists ages 12 and under can follow step-by-step instructions, create seasonal masterpieces. That'll be taking place from 5:30 until 7 p.m. Also tonight at the Hagerstown Community College ARCC Gym, 11400 Robinwood Drive in Hagerstown. Tickets are $10 a piece. That includes all the supplies that will come with it. And adults do need to stay with their young painters. They are not required to purchase tickets. Okay. Next up, more Love in the Air, because it is Valentine's Day tomorrow, actually, on the 14th. Downtown Shippensburg is transforming into a winter wonderland with their second annual Shippensburg Winterfest. It's hosted by DOIT members and the Shippensburg University Student Services. They are going to fill King Street in Shippensburg with live ice carvings, food trucks, entertainment, and plenty of seasonal fun. That'll take place from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Saturday, February 14th. Designed to celebrate all things winter and have a good time for everybody, including a step up for the Valentine's Day celebration. Next up, in Hagerstown, the city is sponsoring a Valentine's Day downtown date night on Saturday, February 14th from 5 until 9:15 p.m. It invites pairs to savor a night of live music, local flavor, small town charm. It'll feature 2 tickets to the Maryland Symphony Orchestra's Voices of the Past concert and a $50 downtown gift card that's redeemable at participating businesses. It'll be hosted in the heart of downtown Hagerstown. It'll cost $100 per couple, a $150 value, if you actually add up all the costs that are involved. And our last of the 5 items, a painter Tom Gately, who's a New England painter who has transitioned to the Potomac River Valley, is going to be debuting his latest collection, Metamorphosis, during an opening reception from 2 until 4 p.m. Tomorrow, Sunday, between 2 and 4 on February 15th. That'll be taking place at the Inn at 1 North Main Street in Boonesboro, Maryland. The exhibit reflects Gately's transition from New England to the Potomac River Valley, where the region's architectural and landscapes have inspired his recent works. Guests are invited to meet the artist, explore pieces that celebrate change, history, and the beauty of the Boonesboro area. And we're going to add one additional item that didn't make the cut for the top 5 this week. It's a reminder. We talked about this a little bit last week. On February 19th, this coming week, there will be a program on cybercrime and sextortion. It's going to be presented at 6:30 p.m. at the Waynesboro Area High School Auditorium. Registration is requested at 717-762-1191, extension 1127. You can get that in the article. You don't have to actually stop, pull over to the side of the road, and write that down. FBI Special Agent Jeffrey Ford and Shippensburg mom Tricia Masiejewski, I hope I did a better job of that this year or this week than I did last year, will be presenting. Tricia lost her 13-year-old son Levi as part of a sextortion scheme a few years back. They will be sharing the latest trends, threats, and realities that face our children in the digital world, what kids are seeing, saying, and sharing online, and who is targeting them and how. Red flags that you ought to be looking for. This is important. Even if you don't have kids, you really need to understand how this is working, and this is a great opportunity by an expert and somebody who has actually lived through it to share their experiences with us. The Masiejewskis have also established a foundation for their son Levi, and the link to that foundation is in the article. Okay, well that's the 6 things to do this, 5 things this weekend and 6 things to do in the following week. I'm going to circle back to the regular news from the past 7 days. It'll be interesting because a lot of this leads up to the Valentine's on the 14th and obviously President's Day, the federal holiday on the 15th, coming up in the next week. We have over 50 stories this week at localnews1.org. And we're going to start off with the Mercersburg fire and water story, which we opened up last week. Conditions seem to be improving. The parties to this, the Mercersburg Borough, the Water Authority, and the local fire department have had some conversations among themselves. The water people have shared why they have some concerns about the water company hooking up and spending thousands of gallons to fight a fire. The fire department has also emphasized, and the borough backs them on this, that their job is protecting people and property, and they don't want to have to make a choice between the two. There's discussion because there's a new well that the Water Authority expects to have online in the not too distant future, but it's not here yet. And what they're basically saying is we have an obligation to be able to provide fresh water to around 1,000 residents in the Mercersburg area. When that well comes in, there won't be any problems. In the meantime, Senator Mastriano sent all parties a letter that basically said that he's in a position where he can help to get state funds to help out in whatever way they need to. He just needs to know a whole lot more about exactly how they got into this position and how they can help. So more to follow on that. In Washington County, the commissioners voted to support the DHS ICE facility, which we also talked about last week. Turns out they're fairly strongly in support of supporting ICE in Hagerstown. There was opposition at the meeting, and apparently they did disrupt the events, so the meeting had to be suspended while people were escorted out of the building, and they came back later to conduct the rest of their business. You can expect to see more of this, both in and out of meetings, as the work continues to convert a warehouse over into a detention facility. In addition to that, they also approved a grant extension for $800,000 for a development grant for the San Mar Community Services Organization. And there were a number of other things, including taxes and whatnot that were discussed. So you can get more of the details of that in the meeting. Franklin County Commissioners met on Wednesday, the 11th of February, to consider grants for child services, housing, and things like that. They also met to consider a $1.8 million health insurance claims that they would need to pay. Also leases and other items of business. In Waynesboro, the hearing on former high school principal and now elementary school principal Steve Pappas, we're pretty sure it has completed as of the 11th of February. There was some discussion apparently at the meeting about maybe coming back and bringing in more witnesses, but I think that was pretty much deterred. So the board is basically in a position to review and make a decision about what's to be done with Mr. Pappas. No date for that decision was identified, so they have some time to consider. That's kind of a heart-rending. There's actually 4 parties to this. There's the school district itself, there's the defendant, there's the school board, which is acting as the judge and jury, and then there's about 150 to 200 people who are showing up regularly and expressing their position one way or the other. It's an interesting and frankly potentially concerning situation. There are people's lives that are at risk here, their careers and so on. Not sure you necessarily want to be especially deterred or thrust forward based upon what the crowd is doing at your hearings. In Hagerstown, they are looking at seasonal parking around the Emeritus Ball Field. We saw one comment from a fellow that said, "Well, what would you expect if you drop a baseball field right smack in the middle of a residential area?" It is a nice field, but parking during the summer is a bit of a problem. The council met on this, and they decided that they would offer $15 permits so that people could reserve spaces. And the idea is, if there are reserved spaces and there's somebody parked in there that doesn't have a sticker on their car, then those people can be towed and whatnot. They're looking for help on how to deal with people interfering with the 300 or so odd residents in the immediate vicinity of the ballpark. We'll see how that works out. The period of these permits, by the way, is going to run from about the 15th of April to the 15th of September every year, if this all goes the way they plan. Also in Hagerstown, there is a North Avenue sidewalk upgrade that was being considered, which also happens to be near some schools. Apparently, there are jurisdictional questions here. From what I understand, the Hagerstown Council, the city actually owns the sidewalk, but there are residences, apparently right across the street or in the vicinity, that do not belong to Hagerstown, so there's a certain amount of coordination that needs to take place if the city is going to do some work on sidewalks that they own, but that are going to impact local residents. So apparently they have now got the staff working out the details of that, contacting residents and finding out whether or not they've got an actual problem, and hopefully get those sidewalks repaired here pretty soon. Smithsburg got a $306,000 federal grant for water improvements. This is part of a larger $2.5 million for water reliability. It was available from the feds. This will be added to $2.1 million that we reported back in late 2024. Smithsburg has a problem with the age. I think the age of their pipes, their underground pipes and whatnot, are about 70 years old. So they got the $2.1 million to rip up and replace all that old infrastructure and put in some new stuff so that they'll be able to operate successfully going on into the future. The Smithsburg Council also addressed additional issues. In Greencastle, Rescue Hose Number 1, their local volunteer fire department, opened up the station as a warming center during the recent cold when power went out in the vicinity of Greencastle. They indicated that they would leave it open. I assume they probably closed it by now, but they indicated that as long as there was cold weather and the power was out, they were going to leave the station open for people to come so they could stay warm during the nasty cold weather. There are a lot of other stories from Hagerstown Community College, Hagerstown, the high school in Waynesboro, St. Thomas, Chambersburg, and elsewhere throughout localnews1.org. Would suggest that you go take a look there. Under police news, moving on to another category, Washington County Division of Emergency Services is advising residents that they will be conducting aviation training in the vicinity, and there'll be 10 different days on which this takes place. 4 days in February, 16th, 19th, 23rd, and 25th, and another 6 days in March. I won't read them all off, but 10 different days on which this is going to be taking place. All of the training is going to take place from 8 o'clock in the morning until noon. So if you hear a lot of activity like that in the local area, just be advised. This is important for emergency services people to do. It's not just simply responding to things that crop up, but they need experience and training for a wide range of things that don't necessarily happen every day or even over the course of a year. So this is important. Excuse me. Bear with them. Let them get on top of their game so that if you need their support, they'll be well qualified to lend you some assistance. We have quite a bit of people news, which is part of the reason why I cut off of the regular news stories here. In Smithsburg, particularly a nice story, the Smithsburg girls basketball team is now 18-0 on the season as of this past Wednesday, the 11th of February. They're playing in the Maryland Class 2A League. And this particular game that they played was rescheduled to take place after the snow. So congratulations, ladies. Outstanding work. In the Franklin 4-H Therapeutic Writing Center, they have named Kim Batten their new program director. Franklin County's Carrie Gray was named the county's Employee of the Month for January. In Greencastle, teacher Alicia DeAngelis wrote a book called Penny's Power of Perspective. She was recently diagnosed and is hopefully recovering from a colon cancer diagnosis. And so she wrote this on the basis of what she found was helpful in trying to keep her attitude straight while you go through this. And I have to tell you, our family personally has a lot of experience with that, and I can assure you that perspective is important to keeping your sanity and being able to continue to function properly. She is currently on medical leave from Fairview Elementary School in Waynesboro. But she wrote this book, and if you have an opportunity, read the article and possibly see if you can't get your hands on one. At Meritus, several things going on. Audiologist Kristen Jones has joined the Meritus Advanced Ear, Nose, and Throat team. Neurosurgeon X. Sean Zinn has joined the Meritus Neurosurgery team. He is a neurosurgeon, by the way. And Meritus's Stacy Ross, who is currently the director of the Board of Family Medical Service Residency program for Meritus, was just recently named to the board of that same organization. So congratulations to you. Under health news, we'll toss one in here. So I took so many of the medical ones, and they were really more about people than they were about medicine. But this one, Dr. Brian McKinnon discusses the extended impact of hearing loss. His point is that it has mental health implications as well as bearing on your overall well-being. He basically points to the isolation that occurs when you can't hear the things that are going on around you, and how you care for that sort of thing, and what kind of treatment is appropriate. So good words by Dr. McKinnon. For Valentine's Day, I'm going to add this one last story written by Pete Walters, who is also our Dargan boy. But he basically wrote a love letter, and it's a very interesting story the way Pete writes it. It's about the history of the Taj Mahal, which eventually got created a long time ago, obviously, when there was an emperor of everything on the Indian subcontinent, including parts of Afghanistan, Pakistan, Bangladesh, all of that. And the emperor was apparently about 15 years old when he met and fell in love with the lady that eventually became his wife, and lived for a long time, had 14 kids. And she apparently passed away during childbirth with their 14th child. And the emperor was so distraught for that entire period that the court that ruled the country was basically a bit of a shambles for about 2 years as he recovered. But during that time, he decided he designed and had his people design the Taj Mahal, which was dedicated to his wife, whom he considered to be the most beautiful, just the epitome of beauty on earth. It's a great story. Take a moment and read it. It's really pretty good. I was pretty moved. Of course, I would tell you without pausing a moment that my wife is the most beautiful woman on the planet. But moving on, there's much, much more to be seen in our schools, entertainment, and elsewhere, sports and other things throughout localnews1.org. We are very proud to be the news source for Verstandig Media, and you can see all the local news at localnews1.org. It's all local. We don't do national. We don't do hit pieces. We don't do clickbait. We just want to tell stories about the things that are happening around our area. And with that, I'm going to leave you with the thought of the day, which is an answer to the age-old question, do skunks celebrate Valentine's Day? And to that, there is a resounding yes. They are very sentimental. Bada bing. Have a great week. Happy Valentine's.
If you'd like to be featured on an upcoming episode of Let's Talk Tri-State, call 717-597-9200 or email letstalk@921thegoat.com.